We live. Cool. It's 1:10 Eastern Time, so I decided to go live. Sorry, I got some music in my headphones. Hopefully the sound is of quality. We're gonna have some talks today. Let me just pull up my notes. So it's not gonna be a long live. Essentially, I think what's key for me is to keep doing it. Come in here and get used to these controls and figure that out. And if I could grow some people along the way, more power to that. There are definitely some improvements, so I'm happy to talk about that. But let's just start the music. This is the reboot. Come in here, you come in the chat. Oh, that's my mom. Hey, mom, you need to go to bed. It is 1:11. If you come in the chat, or if you come in the live, welcome to chat. Ask me questions. I'm gonna get into a couple of topics, talk about a couple of things, see how it goes. Try to get this nervousness and anxiety out of me. I'm gonna start having this challenge because I say so much, and I know that when I was in school, you know what? Sorry, you probably can't hear me. All right, sorry. Let's get that music down. That's why it's good to have people in the chat because then they kind of alarm you to what you're doing wrong. But yeah, I was saying if you didn't hear me, we're gonna go through some topics. I'm gonna try to just flow through some things I had thought about. Not really a scheduled live. I just said I got to keep doing this to get that muscle memory. So so apparently my mom is up. She chilling in the chat with me. Thank you, mom. Love you. She baking pies. That's cool. Cool. All right, let me clip this music so we could have the conversation I want to talk about. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so for one, I just wanted to come in here and do a little recap. Hold on, I got some music in my ear. I need to turn that down a little bit before I get too hyped. Where is it? I don't know. All right, music is off. Yeah, so I wanted to do a little recap of how things are going. It's been a couple weeks of consistency. I think things are progressing pretty good. Things that I wanted to call out and share is at one point I got over a big hump, which was just, what do I record? Why am I recording? Just asking those questions to myself. Sorry, I let my chat slide. Asking those questions to myself all the time and really not helping myself to go into this paralysis state where I don't really know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing, and I start asking too many questions. So, it was good that I started to get out of the groove where I would have the camera. One piece of advice I would say for what I was going through that could help anyone who wants to get started with a channel. And this is not like I'm no one to give this type of advice, but I could tell you from a personal sense. The thing with the camera is you could record something and you do not have to. You don't have to publish it. You don't have to. You don't even have to edit it. You don't have to spend the time. So you may have an idea, and I've actually had a couple of ideas that I felt really strongly about. And I don't think I hear enough people say this because most of the conversations are always speaking to the algorithm, and I'll get into that because it was a big lesson for me that I learned about, how to push the content, and I'll draw a connection to why it was actually pretty good. The lesson went down, I really took to it faster than I think most people would. But yeah, so I'm trying to stop saying I'm realizing that okay, one, I gotta find a way to be more entertaining. Entertaining from the standpoint of my voice is very monotone at times. I'm very laid back. When I watch the videos, I take some of that as like nervousness. I don't have like an official camera set up. My mic situation is not quality yet, so I'm working through that. But I actually like where I'm at. I want to start exactly where I am, so that I'm not making too much of an investment to get to that next level. So that's a good thing. But just going back to filming, I would say that it's really good that I broke out of the habit of just questioning like why you're filming, because anything could be thrown away. I actually recorded something today. We had a power outage today, and I wanted to. My wife had said something to me which kind of clicked, and I don't know what to do with it yet, but it did click for me. Right, I'll just start there. What she said was, "Why are you doing things that sound like am I mimicking the people that are online already?" And I mean, like, it's just like if you were making music, do you listen to music on the radio? The chances are when you make music, it's going to sound something like that, or you may be, saying things and not realizing that there is an overlap. So while I'm still trying to build and find a niche that I want to be in, I mean, I know what I want. I just want a community. I'm not on YouTube, or I don't desire to be on YouTube. If I get monetized, that's cool. But my situation is pretty straight. I don't want to be a full time content creator. I just think that this is a good place. As I've followed a lot of channels, this is a great place to meet people, to build with people, to do things, to do special things, and to expose people to what you're doing. So it kind of like it's like in the creative space, just sparking the inspiration. So that's really why I'm here. So I'm in the middle of this. I'm being told, not by many people, but I could give myself my own criticism and say I can be more engaging. I could find a way to bring the laughter and creativity out of myself. Not so much laughter because everything is not about being funny, but at least knowing that the person on the other end is not right away going to attack my personality because I'm not driving something inside of them. So that's one thing. So if I just use that and say that that equals being entertaining, I feel like I was okay, and I still am mostly okay with not being entertaining as much as I would really just like to have a critical mass of people that I could build with, grow with, and provide things for. Whether it's just starting from an information perspective, or leveraging each other's skills. To me, this is more of a meeting opportunity as much as it is just. I'm not really trying to expose everything that I do. because I think it's definitely key to have a line there. So I think in my recap, I was posting frequently. I That was fine for me. I enjoyed it, and then I realized that then in the bigger conversation we could lead now into the algorithm learning. I came across a video, and it wasn't a video I would usually click, but I probably was vulnerable because I see myself uh, aggressively churning videos out. There's this thing that Joe Salatin says. If you don't know Joe Salatin, look him up. But yeah, Joel Salatin talks about from a business perspective using your unfair advantage, and I figured that in this creative space, for me, it's very clear. My unfair advantage is that though I don't have subscribers, I have a lot to offer, and I have skills. I have a skill set and an interest from what I did, let's say in school, and a little bit initially when I got out of school, that most people are going to struggle with things like editing. Not that I'm like this superstar editor, but with the tools that I'm using, I am able to max out on that experience. Whether it's just creating little graphics like this little chicken thing right here, this little reboot logo, this icon which I added today. This all just it just comes to me, and I feel like I'm in art class. I feel like I'm 8 years old, and I keep getting inspired, and I just go with it because I don't really know. I'm not doing it so that it works. I'm actually feeding into my own creativity. So that's my unfair advantage that I can. Well, I use free tools. So if you know anything about me, I'm an avid Linux user, and though I'm not going to be able to do everything and grow my channel the way I want to using those tools, but right now I'm in a Linux distro. I'm very happy. I'm on OBS. I'm very happy to be in a Linux distro. I pretty much operate in a Linux distro from I try in my day job, always struggle because they always want to be in something else, and it never works. And then by the time we get on the server, so while I spend my time in the cloud on the cloud server and cloud computing, I'm going to be in a Linux server, so that's where I'm most happy. But my Linux experience is always leaned into free tools and getting things done with what you have. So I think that my skill set, how I think is fit for where we are in the world with this, let's just say social media or content creation, whatever. I may not define it the same way as everyone else, and that's okay. I may not have the same reasons of why I'm here, why I'm posting, but I think that I'm a quality shoe in for what that is. So essentially, came across this video, and sorry I was a little long-winded with that, but I came across this video. I clicked on it. I'll dig up the video and link the channel because I did end up subscribing. I was just subscribing around this week, which kind of messed up my feed of who I watch, but I'll figure out how to fix that. So it was a guy, and he was talking about the 14 things that you need to do once you post your video on YouTube, once you publish your video. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. And it turns out that 9 of the 14 things I wasn't doing. So I'm a pretty honest person with myself. And I just said, well, if you're not doing 14, if you're not doing 9 of the 14, you're only doing 5 of the 14 things. Um, as much as you want this to work, it's like not swinging the bat and playing baseball. Like, so I've coached baseball in the past, and I've played little league growing up, and the biggest difference with kids, and it's a hard sport for kids to play. One, baseball is I would say is the hardest sport for a kid when it comes to the social aspect of what that sport and what you do in that sport is. When I coached it, I got to see 11, 12 year olds, whether they wanted to be there, whether their parents wanted them to be there more. You could tell when they go up to bat, whether or not you have a skill that you were just given. Maybe you have fast hands, maybe your hand-eye coordination, and you just understand it. And the feedback that you're going to get from the crowd, the parents, your teammates, your coaches, the success that you're going to get, the instant success from winning, that's I don't even know why I was talking about baseball. I get kind of excited about talking about that, but that's that instant feedback that I should probably write these things down, then it could help me. Oh yeah, the 5 out of 14. I just looked down at my notes. So for me, it's like going up to bat. So I'm going to YouTube and I'm posting all these videos. The effort that is involved in that is understated. Um, just from sit down trying to emotionally go into a space where most of the channels you probably watch yourself and that has an influence on you, um, they're in the hundreds, tens to hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of views, and you click, publish, and you are waiting for analytics to show or to strike something. So the analytics is saying we don't have enough data, So for me, I said, wow, this I have to stop right here. I cannot go any further with this until I watch this video and assess whether or not I have to try something, because 5 out of 14 things right, 9 out of 14 things wrong. That's a huge problem. So I slowed down. I stopped filming as much. I stopped thinking about what is that cool thing that I think was gonna get me over. And one of my bigger goals was always to focus on quality content. You may have heard when I get on with Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs talks about and I'm gonna find tapes, but we've been filming, we've been doing this before there was a YouTube. I don't like to say it because it's kind of a different thing, and we had different desires. We didn't have what we were what I was doing and what we were doing together. Um, it was just indie stuff that you just did. And this goes back to like VHS tapes, high 8 tapes, mini DV tapes. I still have old cameras, and we just love to film little skits and short. This is before Vine. We just did that type of stuff. So um, I would think I'm gonna take Joel Salatin's words. I'm gonna use my unfair advantage. So let's call me, a passionate or enthusiastic editor, somebody where editing and graphics don't turn them off, right? And that's who I am. And then I'm gonna go into this YouTube and I'm gonna just make a video that kills. But yeah, if I don't get impressions, I'm not going anywhere. Just like right now, I'm in the live right now and no one has joined. Granted, it's 129. I don't have, I'm not invested in any other marketing tool except for pressing start this live. And that's intentional because for me, you gotta work with what you have, where you are. You have to assess it so that you can learn how to scale these things up. And if I have to dream, having 100 people is to me a mountain. So it really doesn't take much, right? So I slowed down on how much creativity and how much I'm lugging my camera around. I've recorded from my phone. I've recorded from my SLR, and I'm just it's not slow. I actually got to a nice rhythm where I'm transferring frequently. I'm transferring stuff to the computer, and then here's the problem that I rarely hear or rarely, all these videos. Once I hit that one video, I was now my algorithm was busted, and I might have saw at least 30 other people saying you're doing it wrong, you are doing it wrong, and I didn't care at that point because I already got it. I understood it. Why did I understand it? Well, having a web background and having done some pretty cool and in-depth SEO projects, search engine optimization projects from a technical SEO side, and then just understanding from a content SEO side. It there's a lot of overlap with the keywords and understanding these triggers and trends. So I started looking at the analytics more from that perspective, as if I'm like just looking at Google Analytics, or what's the Adobe. I'm sorry, Adobe. Haven't used it in a while, and you changed the name like a decade ago. But yeah, so it's more so like looking at Google Analytics for me, and what that means is Google Analytics. It Yeah, everyone puts it on, right. A lot of people put Google Analytics on their page, and they have the preset dashboard, and they literally don't know because it's so much information that they don't know what to zone in on. They don't know what's going to give them an advantage. They don't know how to define what is a bottleneck. They don't understand the funnels. There's just so much there. I've never really, most people are not competent in that. And that's why I think the consultant is alive. They're still able to come in and say, hey, I can help you, because they probably can help you because you really don't know what you're looking at. Why? Because when you don't, when you start off with the freeware, and you don't pay for these tools, you actually don't feel the monetary investment. At least that's my opinion. You don't feel like invested the same way, and you think that it just collecting the data is helping you do something. Um, but okay, so moving on. So my SEO connection allows me to look at the analytics and the way that the creator, the one who posted the video, was explaining things to me. It kind of like it made sense right away, and then that led into another conversation, which what I was gonna say, which I don't see at all or see videos on. Not many creators are breaking down. Well, what is a baseline of, let's say, the amount of storage you need? Even though I work in the tech field, I'm a very lean tech person. I want to work with, as I'm a minimalist, I want to work with as minimal as possible. So I don't have a computer with all these terabyte backups. And now that I'm back to video, I'm actually overwhelmed, and I have to, create some sort of a milestone, because I already see that, give it a couple weeks or a month, I'm not going to have enough storage for what I'm doing. So to say, does that, like, shift into the algorithm? It doesn't. But when a person starts getting comfortable with making videos and they get into like a flow, they're gonna do it more. And the one thing that they shouldn't do, especially when they don't have the support, they haven't gathered the support as I'm still looking at zero people in the chat or on the live, which is okay. Um, I would think that that person has to be careful about what they're doing, because then they're gonna have a negative attitude towards it. Like, for instance, I don't even think I was gonna do this, but this headset. So this fabric was sewed together from my daughter. I was throwing this headset away. I probably had this for, I want to say, 15 years. So it's a 15-year-old headset. Uh, I have other headphones, but this one is USB, and I don't want to deal with, like, if a live goes long or if some, any kind of interference. So I just had something USB laying around. So I'm not going, I know you could get something cheap on Amazon, but this is what, this is what I'm using. And that's okay. And as an early creator, we need to we need to be careful about that investment so that you could pivot to what really matters. What matters for me is when I make that investment into the content, the editing, and the whole process of publishing, and what that entails. And there are plenty of videos out there. I don't want to go into step this, step that, step that. But I would say that I have found a system that I see more results than I was getting before I shifted to that system. Not to mention, I got a shirt on that. What is it? My shirt is this shirt is 24 years old. Loyalty, family forever. And that's it. You just got, not to say that I wear this shirt all the time, but I happen to have this shirt on today. And so it's, you just gotta work with what you got. And I wish I saw more videos. So while I'm working with what I got, what I don't have is 100 terabytes. I I don't have the space to tolerate um, massive videos. So my DSLR is not making massive size videos. My phone, and now that I am aware, I was talking to a friend of mine, um, Mr. Ubiwa, and I always go to him when it's an equipment conversation, and we're talking through my once if I hit certain milestones, I then will make a particular investment. But we're not talking about this big sizable investment. I'm still looking at a modest level investment. So one of the conversations that came up was storage, and also shooting and higher, in 4K. And because I'm not really there yet, and it turns out that my phone did shoot in 4K already, but now you're shooting in 4K. Now you have to deal with the storage problem. I just think it's a great topic, because if you can't store it, how are you gonna do? How are you gonna to get better at this if you can't even make a ton of videos and choose from them? When a rapper makes an album, at least back in the days, and they're not doing the Kanye thing, and they're not releasing it because it's today. They would, this rappers is 30 to 50 songs, and that turns into a 15-song album. So that refining, so to speak, is a thing. So I would love to have a lot more storage, um, and that's just something. Yeah, I mean, that kind of leads into, on my list, I have it as equipment pitfalls. So for me, I'll start off with I already talked about the storage. My mic situation. I feel like when I shoot, I want to be further from the camera, so I need some sort of lavalier, or some sort of mic that I could just be further from the camera. I just noticed that would make me feel a little less self-conscious with how this thing is gonna come out, and I would have a since it's just me, I'm pressing record. I don't have anybody, checking the audio. The main concern when I shoot something is the video because I could just do, you could always just do something with the audio to make it work. But the visuals, they at least matter in this platform. So that was it. And then I almost had another pitfall since I mentioned that I lost power today. Um, when power came back on, and I for whatever reason I was talking to my daughter about a UPS backup, and I was explaining how when you get electrical surges, you can really mess your computer up. And I'm at the point where the investment that I made with the computer, which was before I started creating the content, it was really for other reasons. I'm working on a couple of app ideas where the computer I was using was kind of weighed down. So I was talking to her about the computer not working, or being messed up. And when I got back, we had went out the house just to go get something to eat. And when we came back, the lights were on, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna just come in here, get back to it. I've been following up. I've been trying to work on my profile on YouTube inside the studio, and so I was gonna continue. I actually got bit today where I didn't press save, and something crashed and it brought me back to college. But yeah, so I wanted to continue working on my channel stuff, and I came back in and I pressed power. My computer didn't come back on, and when I tell you, I was I was defeated, but I wasn't defeated like, how do I explain it? It's almost like the way I handle things like that now is there's a part of me that is expediting to reality of what does this mean for us now, and then there's a part of me that's like holding on to, almost like still within a venting state and grieving or whatever. But right away I was able to calm down, and I thought about the content creation, because without this computer it wouldn't be the same. It's not that I wouldn't be able to do it, but I would be going backwards as far as how I usually. Granted, my previous computer, I think it was like $100 buy, which I bought it from my old job. When they get rid of computers and just throw a Linux distro in there, we're good, right? So I could get by with it, but I ain't gonna be doing a live. That was one of the hiccups. So I can't even do what I'm doing now without in OBS. This thing telling me is like, we're gonna blow up. Just so you know that if you stay on this live, yeah, it's gonna blow up. So I what was I saying? I'm doing a lot of talking. So yeah, so my computer didn't come back on. As in, I pressed the button, showed the power, and the monitors didn't come back on. So I took a deep breath, and I went to my phone and I started researching a particular model, if there's problems. And first thing I'm thinking about is the graphics card. I'm pretty sure that beyond the CPU, what I'm buying with this model, since I invested more than what I've been comfortable with paying in the last years. Excuse me, let me drink some. It's really, from my point of view, the graphic card is just way better, and I'm sure the CPU. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably just a graphic card issue. Um, I could send it back to the company, figure that out. But I don't really work like that. I think that emotional space within that, I would get very disoriented. So let's just say I have work to do in order to fix that. So as I started taking it slow, um, I started unplugging. There's so many things plugged into this machine. I started unplugging one thing at a time, and I think the third thing that I unplugged and tried to reboot it, and we were golden, no issues. So he came on, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna continue what I was thinking about. Had a little sippy sip and go live. So yeah, so the equipment that you need, you don't need much depending on what you do. A really controversial creator was talking. I remember a couple weeks ago. This is Hassan Campbell. He was talking about how he was boasting about how he built his channel. Very minimal, like a phone setup, phone and a little tripod. So that worked for him, and it's fine. He doesn't have to edit videos. When I really analyze, and I should go back and watch it, or we should do a thing where we review the hot takes on that. It was on Sanetta's channel. If you're not familiar with Sanetta, he's pretty much the one of the larger media outlets in the conscious community, the Black conscious community. I've been watching him for years. Sanetta's from Harlem. A lot of the stuff I grew up seeing just by going to Harlem, going to 125th. So there's definitely a deep connection. I don't always watch it from the conscious side, but it is cool to see. I don't even want to. I'll do another video on that. But yeah, so I was watching an interview, and the interview was supposed to be about what's going on with Kanye and Hassan Campbell's feelings about that, and he started getting into being a creator, and you need to be putting in an hour a day. He's saying all these these good things, no different than a cajillionaire who was able to make it in their little lane, but it's really hard for them to give you that story. You use their track, and we'll see where you end up on their track. But yeah, he was talking about just using your camera. None of which of what I'm saying, as far as, well, how much space are you gonna need? How do you, in the video that I watched, how do you make sure your uploads are hitting the algorithm? When I really reviewed what he was saying, he underestimates how many people want to listen to junk. So if you have junk, it's probably going to hit the algorithm in a certain way. So if the two have to go together, you can't be the rebirth of Malcolm X and just say Malcolm when the Malcolm we know from speeches, and think that people are just gonna come in droves to your channel. So it was interesting advice, and I pulled from it what I needed to pull. But since I'm just reflecting and recapping, I would say, just to sum all that up, I have had some equipment difficulties. I've done some forecasting, some wish I had something, but I've also made some quality, I think, some videos that I was really excited about, and I was patient enough to sit there in the videos. I actually was able to forecast a little bit of the analytics that I thought what it would do based on the trends. Um, I did notice that YouTube, for whatever reason, started sending me, or started putting in my feed, different garden channels that I've never seen. And granted, I'm an avid watcher of content, mostly on YouTube. From the garden perspective, I'm always, I have my go-to channels, but people don't. I would say people don't post enough, and I think that's always told me that there's somewhat of a void because it's hard when you, and when I say garden, I mean garden, homestead, agriculture, just anything that has to do with people putting in that good work. But yeah, people, there's not enough content, and I'm pretty sure the reason why is because you have to make a choice. You actually do work, or you're a YouTuber who's acting like you're doing work. That's really what the challenge is. So uh, I watch a lot, and ever since I've been posting, and I want to say ever since I've been seeing somewhat of success, and based in my definition, when I made the change to how I publish my videos, I was able to get new YouTubers, and mainly smaller ones. It was very particular. I would go and I would see the amount of videos they have, the amount of subscribers they have, and I seem to find like my cousin creators, like people who are kind of where I am, and it gave me a second to kind of compare and contrast. And I'm gonna try to reach out to some of them because I think there's some quality conversations that I could have with them. I was very interested, and yeah, man, I subscribed right away, do some commenting. I essentially did what I want people to do, if they find something interesting. I didn't just do it just to do it, but and I'll shout them out. I actually linked them to the description when I rewatch this. But yeah, man, keep up the good work, and like I said, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to be a part of a community or build a community. I don't have to build it. I don't have that. I don't have that quality where I need to be in charge of something. But as far as the overlap between being a content creator and doing something within agriculture slash homesteading slash permaculture, that's definitely the space that I want to be in. So if you want to reach out to me, my contact information is on my profile. But yeah, so when I see that type of stuff, I know the space that I'm in, I'm going to force my subscription because to that channel, because I can see how important it is, for my side. I'm on this journey to 100 subscribers, and I'm not. I do look at it more than I should, I think, but you have to have enough people, so that and that's a return for me. That is a return. It's not about. It's not just about. It's not. Well, it's definitely not about money. Because I don't think that that's even happening. I think if it takes me a year to get to the point, or a couple years to get to the point where I'm monetized, or what monetization is, the monetization deal, there's no guarantee that that deal is going to be, what it is today, what it was for Tay Sunday. There's no, who knows what that's gonna be. So clearly, if you're starting right now, I think you gotta have your door open, to know that this may not be around, or it may not be the same, and it may change. I think this one thought I was thinking about the other day is this is really all based on people, or businesses wanting to put ads on YouTube. If that changes, if the new kid, and granted, like, I'm not saying that there's is a new kid on the block, or that it's even realistic for someone to compete in the way that YouTube has a lock on one of the areas in social media, but companies do find their ways to trend in different directions because they may try new things. So the money is directly connected to the people who the businesses who want to promote stuff on YouTube. So less businesses want to promote, or if the money changes, if there's other businesses that offer their services for cheaper, or they get more value from, it could force YouTube to lower their rates, which indirectly, kind of directly, hits the creator. So there's no guarantee of what this is. So I was more so speaking to the return on investment, and from a return on investment perspective, um, I need enough subscribers to feel the return, that I'm having a conversation where it's not just me talking to me, and I get to learn how to talk through the camera, because I'm actually talking to somebody. Like right now, that's the challenge. I'm not speaking to somebody, but we'll get there. And that I'm not super worried. I'm just exercising somewhat, like if I'm practicing for basketball. I'm just doing that right now. I'm just practicing. So you want to watch my practice? You can watch my practice. All right. So I believe I had to figure out what to do with this thing. I think I could have a challenge where maybe we keep track, and maybe I gotta do some push-ups or something. It gotta be something on the line. If you have a thought on that, please get it to me. Make a comment somewhere, somehow get that to me. I think that's cool because I'm probably down. I think 35% ums. My goal is to get to like 70, and I'll be happy. I think I'm down like 35% on the side. Whatever. All right. So okay, pitfalls. Okay. Well, we're pretty much done. I want to play my State of the Union address, and then I'll roll out with my updates on compost, chickens, and bees.
And that's why I stand here as confident as I have ever been that the state of our union is strong. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. They had the nerve to charge me $20. I thought that I saw trouble when I read. I made a kick and said I wouldn't pay it. And this is what the hotel keeper said. Well, I need the money, indeed I do. It may sound funny, but yet it's true. Your room is near the sky, that's why your bill is high. And another thing, you see, I need the money.
All right, I'll give you a background story on what that is, but yeah, I in my head I think more of a segment thing. This is like a show similar to like TBA or the Black Channel. This is like a broadcast for me, so I take it. I want to take it serious. I want to learn how to do this the right way. I said down 34%. So yeah, so let's start with the compost update. So if we're keeping it real, I started a pile. I gotta get something to where I'm like, actually, when I do my 18-day piles, I have to actually measure or put it on the board or something that I could track. But I started a pile. It was kicking. It was mostly chicken. Well, I say mostly chicken manure, but the nitrogen part was mostly from the chicken manure. It was, I guess, it's upcycling. I had to clean out. I cleaned out a good part of the coop. The coop was, it was tough getting out there in the wintertime. I cleaned it out, and I needed to do something with that medium. So I started being better, or I was better about finding different carbon to make a pile. I made a pile. I've turned it now I'll turn it again tomorrow. I think I turned it 4 times already, so that would be four, 6, 8, 10. So tomorrow would have been the 12th day, but I think we had a cold snap. So during the cold snap, I actually went another day. But I am looking at the POW a little different. It's active still, but there is, for me, I think I kind of lost the POW, and that's fine because I really need to be serious about securing the compost. But I'm gonna try to give some sort of updates. I don't know how I'm going to concatenate that footage. I had some fun footage. Even there's a piece of my profile picture which is me jumping over the piles, and I'm trying to take on this king of the compost king of New York, which it's just fun for me. It's fun to get into that zone and have another personality. I enjoy compost. There's a lot. I don't know if I really want to come at it from a scientific perspective, because that I think it becomes less entertaining. So I got to find a way to like shorten that up, or just be very particular about the audience. Even in my personal life, I struggle with that because there's so many things that I'm into that when I start talking, my daughter goes blah 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 blah, and it's like, all right, whatever, man. But so that's the compost update. So I'll be turning tomorrow. A chicken update. I have one chicken, the one that I did a live last week, and I had this message where I said there will be death on the homestead or on the land, you know, likely this season. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to put her in a nice little warm, not I guess bath. See, she got like butt issues, and I'm gonna try to see. I cut some of it out, and I'm gonna see if that was some apple cider vinegar. I'm actually thinking about potentially quarantining the chicken, the hen. It it sounds bad. When I go out there, I'm always thinking through the value of my efforts versus what it would be like, with the closure of not having that. Now I want to say that this hen had booty problems from day one. I'm gonna go back into the pictures. I think it'll be quality capture of content, but I did have a video on my other channel where, and I could post some of that over. I know I did a short. I think I did a full length video, but we're gonna do this activity again, so I probably could do a nice little mashup there. But I think this is the hen that's always had the booty issues, and I'm over it. Like, oh, I just wish I was past it. So when I'm out there, I'm kind of like, today, I'm not at the point where I think she's too far gone. So, but I don't really know what I yield, which is a tough conversation as a responsible landowner, land steward, animal keeper. I don't I don't know if she's in pain, if it's that time. I remember when I first started really watching garden channels. This is when YouTube allowed some of that more rich content. Let's say that rich homestead content. One of my favorite creators. He's definitely in the top of the pyramid. I watched him take out a hen in a very peaceful way. Pulled the neck, stepped on the neck, suffocated the hen, and yeah, it actually it gave me respect because I had already respected him for a lot of the decisions, at least on camera, that I've seen him make. And it's actually Sean from Edible Acres. Yeah, I really enjoy watching Sean. He's definitely top of the pyramid. And yeah, he I seen him take out a hen. You can't. I don't think you could show that these days. But today I was thinking like, man, I might want to go get a shovel. So I'm not there yet, but that's the update on the chicken. So tomorrow it'd be nice if I'm able to get some shots of that. And then the bees. The bees are slow. Uh, I don't have no bees yet, but we today I was out there painting the swarm trap. I pretty much have a deadline of this week to get the swarm trap up. I say that because when you walk the land, you get a sense of what's out there, what's waking up, what's not waking up. Man, I mean, I know it's late, but zero people have joined this live, other than my mama. So yeah, so you get a sense of what's waking up, and let's just say, because I don't have a scientific term, little flyy things, little flyy things, things that fly. I don't know if it's wasps, different types of bees. Today was the first day I saw a carpenter bee. I was hoping to beat them. I did take out a bunch of what I think is wasp, little combs. I took them out of the eaves in my sunroom, and so I thought I was going to be able to beat the carpenter bees. And the carpenter bees, they just fly around like little helicopters. And so one day I'm gonna be able to beat them, but they pretty much have it locked down right now. So my point is that that not species, but that category of things seems to the weather seems to have broken in a way to where their habitat, if they're native to here or have found habitat here, it's obvious that those things are waking up because I haven't seen them until this week. So I got like a week deadline, I think, to get that bee trap up. So yeah, I I posted a video. I'm excited about my journey. I think one of the things about that for me is it's just a thing being held accountable when you have that community. At least I can have the conversation, and it may help me to take steps because I don't necessarily have people walking through this with me. I did forecast that I believe my bee journey is just going to be one of utter ignorance. So I hope that doesn't end bad with me on the news. But I mean, I'm just trying to do what I can. I'm trying to get the family and get the skills in the right direction. So that's it. This has been the reboot live. We definitely have some exciting things on the horizon. This live, I'm 58 minutes. I'm gonna stay on here. I'm gonna stay on here until it's an hour, 1 hour. So yeah, 1 hour live. That's totally fine. Hey man, it's even somebody is Shadow Black. Oh, don't do this, bro. If you awake, you might as well join me. What you doing? You might as well join me. Hit me on Discord. But yeah, um, and I still gotta go to work in the morning, and the kids are off from school. So, um, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was closing out. So I'm gonna give Shadow Black like maybe like 40 seconds to tell me what he about to do. Maybe he want to jump in here. I'll just feed him in through Discord. If not, it's been real. A nice catch up, nice recap on the journey in the last week plus. Hope that I keep the energy up. Hope I actually double up on the energy And if anybody knows any tips or strong content that's going to help myself, or any creators that are struggling to get views or whatever they desire, I'm not here to tell anybody what they desire. For me, it's nice to work through figuring out how to get enough impressions and making sure that you do what you can for your click through rate to be decent. Shadow Black Entertainment on YouTube says that he is calling me now. Let's see what will come of that. I have to close this, and he is calling me now. I don't know how I'm gonna patch him in, but we'll figure this out. Okay. And I like doing this stuff live. Like this brings me back to college. Okay, hold on, good sir. So, do you hear me, good sir?
Good morning. Good morning. I can hear you.
You can hear me. I don't think it could hear you yet. It'll hear you through my mic, but not the way that I want it to hear you. If you give me 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah. Hold on. You ain't call here to mess up my stream now, did you? Okay. Alright, this is what we gonna do. Ready for this? Alright. I gotta, okay. Hmm.
Yo, the delay is crazy.
Yeah. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna wrap this. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna stay on. You stay on though. I'm gonna wrap this up. And then I'm gonna talk to you and figure out if we could get it back up. All right. So, yeah. So I was saying this is the reboot live. I hope you enjoyed. I am gonna repost this. If you have any tips, that's what I was saying. If you have any tips, send them to me. Comment. It is what it is. Peace.